What's up, YouTube family? This is BTV. I want to talk to you about the scoping unit in Memphis, Tennessee, and the Red Dog unit in Atlanta. In 1989, the Red Dog unit was created by Mayor Maynard Jackson. And what happened in 1989 was that Atlanta was known as a high crime area. And they had a lot of prostitution, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of street crime, gangs, etc. So I remember that the president of Atlanta City Council, Marvin Arrington, he basically came out on national television and basically spoke to the people of Atlanta and said that enough is enough. We got to do something about this. So he and Maynard Jackson decided to appoint Adrian Bell as chief of police. Now, Adrian Bell was known as a tough guy, a tough cop. There was a time that he was known for pistol whipping a guy on a traffic stop. He was also known for the word out on the street back then in the 80s, I think like 1985. He went into a crowded bar and called for an ambulance and told them that several people had been roughed up and need an ambulance. And he took a crowbar and went inside of the crowded bar and he fought 7 guys single-handedly by himself. So he's known for being a tough guy. But anyway, he became the chief of police of Atlanta. And he created the Red Dog unit. And the Red Dog unit basically was made up of 4 tough guys, 4 tough police officers with muscles. And they would ride in one vehicle. And what they would do is ride around and they looking for drug dealers and people committing crimes or what have you. And all 4 of them would jump out on one drug dealer, kind of wrestling him to the ground, kind of beat him up a little bit. And the drug dealer would file a complaint, but his complaint would go unheard, or should I say his complaint fell on deaf ears because he was dirty. He was dirty and the evidence was found on him. So his complaint didn't go nowhere. And the people in Atlanta was very fearful of the Red Dog unit because the Red Dog unit would kick ass, bust in heads, take you down to the ground. They were very aggressive and they wouldn't ask you no question. They wouldn't talk to you. They wouldn't say anything. They would just jump out the car and do what they do. Well, the same thing happened in Memphis, Tennessee. They started scoping unit. Now, the chief of police there, her name is Chief Davis. She is a former Atlanta police commander. And when she was in Atlanta, she moved up into the ranks and some kind of way worked her way over to the Red Dog unit. She was basically like in charge of the Red Dogs. So now that she is chief of police in Memphis, she brought that same philosophy of that same strategy to Memphis. But instead of calling it the Red Dog unit, they call it the Scorpion unit. And it's very similar to the Red Dog. And of course, we know what happened. The Scorpion unit is no more. The Red Dog unit is no more. We know what happened to Nicholas. They killed him. But the Red Dog unit was pretty rough. I had a run in with the Red Dog unit back in 2001 when I was a police officer for Morehouse College. I believe I got off work one Saturday morning about 2 a.m. in the morning. I wasn't feeling good, and I asked my supervisor for permission to leave to go home, and he granted my wish. And if anybody knows about Morehouse, when you come out of Morehouse College, over there by the stadium where Popeye's Chicken at, that's Ashby Street. But they have changed that name from Ashby Street to Dr. Joseph Elira Boulevard. I think that's right. But anyway, I was coming out of Morehouse College by the stadium where Popeye's at. I made a right and I went down Ashby Street towards McDonald's. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I made a left turn. I don't know why I made a left turn, but I made a left turn. And when I made the left turn, I ran into some drug dealers and prostitutes, and they was all standing in the middle of the road. And I immediately saw what was going on. I put my car in reverse and I backed my way out of there and got back on Ashby Street and started heading towards McDonough. And then I looked in the rearview mirror. I saw blue lights behind me. And I pulled over. All four of the Red Dog unit got out of their vehicle and they approached my vehicle, two on the passenger side and two on the driver's side. And as they approached me, the officer noticed that I was in uniform. I looked at him, he looked at me, and he was like, what you doing in this area? I'm like, I made the wrong turn. I don't know why I was over there. I made the wrong turn. But anyway, he was very nice and polite to me. But I think that the only thing that really saved me was that uniform. If I was not in uniform, I'm quite sure that they would have took me out of the car, pat me down, and they probably would have searched my vehicle. But the Red Dog unit was they made good progress in Atlanta, but they also made a lot of people angry. And that's the same thing happened to the Scoping unit in Memphis, Tennessee. They made some good progress, but they made a lot of people angry as well.